welcome to Mind the Snap, your UK home for everything NFL. We're here to break down the biggest moments, the boldest plays, and the storylines that have fans buzzing on both sides of the pond.
And this week on the pod, we've got a packed one for you. We'll be diving into the top headlines around the league, giving our takes on the standout games from the weekend, and previewing the biggest matchups coming up in week 4.
Plus, we'll shine a spotlight on one division that's really heating up, hand out our star man picks, and of course throw in a few hot takes, because what's football without a bit of boldness? And we welcome Leo and Jackie to Snap This HQ this week to give us their views and predictions.
So whether you're new to the sport or a long-time fan who burns the midnight oil for Sunday Night Football, we've got you covered. Let's get into this. This is Mind the Snap.
Sweet. Welcome back to Mind the Snap, and Lee, what a wild week it's been in the league this week. Let's jump right in. What's headline number 1?
6 teams stay undefeated, but not without chaos. We've got 6 teams still perfect at 3-0, with the Eagles, the Bills, the Chargers, the Colts, the 49ers, and the Buccaneers. But these wins were in no means easy.
No, definitely not. But let's start with the Eagles. I mean, they were down 26-7 to the Rams in the third quarter. Then came the comeback, capped off by Jordan Davis, who blocked a 44-yard field goal and then returned it 61 yards for a touchdown. They're saying that he hit 18.59 miles per hour. I mean, the fastest speed ever recorded by a player over 330 pounds.
There's no stopping that missile once it's going, is there?
He was on a roll once he was get going.
And then meanwhile, the Bills made history. They scored 30-plus points with 0 turnovers in 3 straight games, something no team has ever done before. Our early season MVP, Josh Allen, threw 3 touchdowns, and James Cook ran for 108 yards and a score.
I mean, also going on this week with the Colts, I mean, they are quietly dominating.
Yeah.
Old Danny Dimes, he threw for 3 TDs. And Jonathan Taylor continues his early season form. I mean, he ran for 165 yards in that 41-20 blowout of the Titans.
Yeah, we picked him out in our division spotlight, didn't we, as the man to watch.
He's on fire at the moment, isn't he? I mean, the Colts as a whole now, they scored 28-plus points in all 3 games. I mean, a feat alone only last done by them in 2020 or 2002, shall I say?
Yeah, 23 years ago. Yeah. So that moves us on to headline 2.
Special teams. I mean, we called these out a couple of weeks ago, but the special teams have taken over the NFL. I mean, in week 3, we saw 4 blocked field goals, 2 of which were returned for touchdowns. You just mentioned Jordan Davis for the Eagles, and then Will McDonald for the Jets. Both scored off their blocks.
Yeah, the Jets actually took a lead late against the Bucs after McDonald's 50-yard return. But unfortunately, Baker Mayfield led a clutch drive, and Chase McLaughlin had hit a 36-yard game-winning when that his team expired.
Yeah, and then don't forget the Browns, Schmidt and the Chargers, Cameron Dicker, who also hit walk-off field goals. Special teams are definitely the difference in 5 of the games this week.
Indeed. When the Panthers flipped the script with a 30-0 shutout. So the Panthers were 0-2 and missing 2 starting linemen, but they dominated the Falcons 30-0. Rookie Charles Smith-Wade had a pick 6, and Bryce Young managed the game perfectly, going 16 of 24 with a rushing touchdown.
That was quite a shock, isn't it, really? I don't think anyone thought the Panthers were going to win that. If you asked anyone, I imagine, at the beginning of that game, no one would have said, especially to shut them out completely. Fair play to the Panthers. That's a good win. And then on that as well, I mean, Michael Penix Jr., he threw 2 picks and he was benched. Their kicker, John Parker Romo, he missed 2 field goals just a week of earning that extra contract.
Exactly. As we praise special teams in the last headline, in this one,
And let them down.
Yeah. The next headline. So, could the Bucs have a secret weapon against brotherly love? So, the news coming out of Tampa is that they've brought back defensive tackle Desmond Watson into their practice squad.
That's great news for Watson here. We've talked about his immense talents before on this show, but could this be a way to stop the Eagles?
It would certainly help the cause with a 400-plus pound monster in the way. it does make for interesting viewing.
I'm guessing really the thoughts of that from the Bucks, with the Eagles liking to use the tush push, that's where they're going to be trying to use that advantage of Watson for sure.
Exactly. Could they go like a good old rugby scrum? Could they use their own defensive tush push?
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that turns out. I mean, it's a big game anyway this weekend, so anything to keep undefeated.
Yeah, it's a big old O-line that Eagles, isn't it?
And then headline 5 for this week, the Lions dominate the Ravens on Monday night. The Lions went into Baltimore and absolutely bullied the Ravens. They sacked Jackson 7 times, forced a goal line stand, and recovered a key fumble from Derrick Henry.
That's unlike that man, isn't it? He's normally so reliable, Mr. Henry.
He is, yeah.
On offense, David Montgomery ran for 151 yards and 2 touchdowns, including a 72-yard sprint. Jared Goff was efficient, and Dan Campbell went 3 for 3 on 4th down. Detroit do look like a legit NFC contender.
After losing in week 1, where I imagine a lot of people are starting to write them off, that is a statement win. And could you imagine, like, this week when the Ravens play the Chiefs, I mean, the Ravens could go 1 for 3, which would be like unheard of at that point for someone like the Ravens.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's your top 5 from week 3. If this keeps up, we're in for a historic season.
And stay with us, as we have not 1, but 2 guests with us after this short break. And welcome back, Snappers. This week, we don't have 1, but we have 2 special guests this week. Give a warm welcome to Leo and Jackie.
Hey, thanks for having us.
Hey, guys.
So it's great to have you on with us today. So firstly, how are you both doing?
Wonderfully, thank you. It's a pretty good day here outside Philadelphia, so I can't complain too much.
Nice.
I am, I'm doing well as well. I am in not so sunny California. Today it actually rained. But, you know, we welcome that because we're just coming out of a number of years of drought. So it's like, bring the rain, all you like. Yeah.
I think you had our rain. We didn't get any rain today, which is a first for us for a while.
First in the UK. Yeah. So actually, you're both coming from either side of the states, basically, then? From one side to the other?
Yep.
Yes. Yeah. I am living outside Philadelphia right now. Used to be in San Jose with Jackie. Jackie is my bestest bud. We've known each other for 30 years now.
Oh my gosh, long time. Leo was in my wedding, and
oh, nice.
Yeah, we've known each other for a long time.
That's awesome. Yeah. So being in Philadelphia, then Leo, it's what's the kind of buzz around the town at the moment?
Oh, are you kidding me? It's football season. Everything's Eagles. Eagles are everywhere, and it's wonderful.
Yeah, I've never been to Philly in football season, so I used to go there a lot when I worked in New York, and it was more like the spring and summer. But but all I picture now is Philadelphia looking like the Land of Oz. Everything's green.
There's green everywhere. Everybody wears green. They have their jerseys on. They have their hats on. It's amazing.
And on the West Coast, Jackie, I guess there's obviously football season buzzing over there as well.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's mostly red, but you'd think in my neighborhood it's Eagles territory. I have I have my neighbor who's a heavy Eagles fan, and when they're not doing badly, you can hear him yelling from his living room next door. And another friend. These guys are fanatics. So when the Eagles did take this first Super Bowl, their first Super Bowl win in recent times, they flew out the next day to be in Philly to join all the fans.
Nice.
That is commitment. I like that.
Yeah.
Talk about fanatical.
Yeah. So you guys, I don't know if you guys know this, but Philadelphia fans have the reputation around the United States as being the worst fans in NFL. Now, I will qualify that as saying the Philadelphia fans are very passionate. Very passionate indeed. And when their team is not doing well, they will let them know.
I'll let them know.
they are not afraid to tell the Eagles that they're not playing well. They have.
Yeah, I listened to Jason Kelsey's speech this week. About the first half, the Philadelphia Pigeons, he was calling them.
Oh gosh!
Oh, brutal there for him, isn't it?
Yeah. They let them know it.
We watched the first game of the season in a Philadelphia bar in London.
I remember that. I was talking to Ryan about that. He was sending me the video.
And the fans were electric, weren't they? There were a few expats there, so a few Americans there, and it was electric, wasn't it?
Oh,
It was really good. It was really good. The atmosphere was amazing there. Everyone knew their stuff in there, which was brilliant.
Yeah.
In this section then, gents, we are going to ask you some questions. So this is your time to shine. So I think you've given it away.
And
a
shine
little
we
bit
shall
here.
try.
Yeah. So the first question. So we'll start with you, Leo. I think you've already told everyone here who you follow, but which NFL team are you following?
So
And why?
yes, it is the Eagles. However, I will qualify that as saying I'm also a Niners fan, and
Yeah, it's cool.
so I've watched both for nearly my entire life, and now that I'm back in Philly, in the Philly area again, Eagles have risen to the top slightly, but I still love my Niners.
But they're both 3-0 at the moment, so you're doing well in your double support.
Yeah, if I
Both
only had a
NFC.
fantasy football league.
Yeah.
And you, Jackie?
Jackie?
Yeah, I mean, the Niners, for sure. I've been a Niner fan as long as I can remember. Going into childhood when I really didn't know what football was, but growing into it. I believe in the Niners. They've had some great times, and they've had some really shake your head what is going on times. Just been a Niner fan forever. Leo now has gone over to being an Eagles fan, so I have yet one more friend to have to deal with as far as being polite when we talk about the Eagles. So.
I mean, ultimately, I guess when it comes to playoff time, if you manage to play each other in the NFC Championship game, it'd be
Yes.
Eagles 49ers. That'd be good.
I know.
It's
That's going to be
happened.
hard. That's going to be hard for me.
It's happened, and it's tough. Yeah. But I'll tell you a story if I can just do a slight aside. Is my neighbor, my fanatical Eagles neighbor. I went over. I watched football with him, right? So I sat in the season. I was 2 years ago. I think it was 2 years ago, and I would sit on his couch, and he discovered that whenever I would sit on his couch, the Eagles would win. So I was required to come over and sit on his couch, right? And then when they were in the Super Bowl, right, his sister had a party. She's also a fanatical Eagles fan. And so I went over to the party. I'm thinking, okay, cool, this is going to be fun. I arrived there, and the cushions from his couch were there. And he put them on his sister's couch, and I was required to sit there. And they lost that year. And so it broke, and so it was a good thing because then I knew I didn't have to sit on his couch for the next season. Yeah.
So you guys remember when the Eagles won the first Super Bowl? Was it 7 years ago? I think in 2017, right?
Was it that long ago? Wow.
Yeah. So there were people and families who'd been waiting their entire lives for that moment. And when they held the victory parade in Philadelphia, there were people who brought the urns with their ashes of their loved ones to the parade so they could be there for the Super Bowl, for the Philadelphia Eagles victory parade. That's how fanatical and impassioned the Philadelphia fans are.
I have a lot of respect for East Coast team fans.
Yeah.
Eagles, we were talking about this earlier, right? Eagles, Bears, all these teams that have been around forever. These fans are fanatical, but I also respect it. The further you come to the West, the further you have fly-by-night fans, right? Oh, they're winning! Woohoo! Let's do it! And drive up ticket prices. And when they're losing, oh, that's it. Yeah, they're done.
Well, I do find there's more franchises have moved in the West. So the Raiders. Hopefully
Raiders,
they've got their own home in the Tron Stadium.
It's disappointing, especially the Raiders. Well, you're used to it now. It's like the Raiders. Okay, I don't know who's going to build them a stadium next. That's where they're going to go.
Yeah, exactly. What was it? So, Jackie, in the time that I lived in California, the Raiders moved 3 times. So it was Oakland, L.A., Oakland, and then Los Angeles. Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Or Las Vegas, yeah.
I think Raiders were the first team we got exposure to, wasn't it?
They were the team that was advertised a lot in the UK then, definitely.
The Madden days.
That is the only reason I like the Raiders, was from the Madden years. Other than that, I have a disdain for that team.
Yeah, if you want to see a group of people who's probably the second most crazy fans in the NFL, it's the Oakland Raiders fans. And I mean Oakland.
Yeah.
Not Las Vegas, not LA, Oakland. Those people are nuts.
I say, were they crazy? Were they crazy when they got going? I'm guessing,
I noticed that there was a lot of disgruntled people on social media after the A's moved.
Yep.
After who moved?
No.
The baseball team. So the baseball team were also going to Vegas.
Oh, right.
But they've temporarily playing in. Are they playing in California at the moment? So they moved out of a stadium in Oakland.
Yeah.
To a temporary home whilst their new home gets built, and they could have stayed in Oakland for another year, 2 years.
The Angels are in Anaheim, aren't they? So you got the Angels in Anaheim, and then
Yeah, we got a lot. We're fortunate to have a lot of sports.
Oh, in the Bay Area?
Yeah.
In the Bay Area, you have basketball, you have football, you have baseball, you have hockey. The Bay Area was a great place for professional sports. Or I should say,
on my bucket list, the baseball stadium overlooking the water looks incredible.
Oh,
that's the Giants.
Who sponsors it now?
Yeah.
Is it Pac-Bell? Oh gosh, I can't even remember.
Yeah, Pac-Bell.
Yeah.
So
where you can hit the home runs into the water. Yeah.
Oh, nice. Next question for you both then, while we're keeping you going.
Yep.
Oh yeah. Keep going.
Yeah, no, you're good. You're good.
Yeah.
Your predictions for this year. What's going to happen for the Eagles first, Leo? What you thinking?
Is there a question about this?
Yes.
Eagles are going to take the Super Bowl again. Come on.
Are they winning the Super Bowl? Are they just going there for fun, or are they going for the win?
Look, hey, let's use Sunday's game as an example. Sunday's game was incredible. I mean, you go into the half, they're down, 26-7, right? Yeah. And you're thinking the game is over. And out of nowhere, they come back with 3 touchdowns. They prevent the Rams from 3 touchdowns themselves and force them to do field goals. And then in the end, they block 2 field goals, and the second one they pick up and run back for 6 points.
Yeah. It was highly impressive. I must admit, you to your point there, Leo, you don't think they're probably going to win at that point. You're thinking, are they going to pull it back? And then Jalen Hurts just turns into Superman. And
exactly.
He's pulling you back into it. It was really good.
Yeah, it's for me, I always get annoyed when they don't. They always talk about MVPs and Lamar and Josh Allen. They're fantastic. But I always think Hurts needs to be in that conversation.
They never give him the credit he deserves, to be honest.
Yeah. Special teams lit it up for Philadelphia this last game. It was really impressive. And it is clear that all teams are going to have to go through the Eagles in order to get to the Super Bowl, if that happens at all.
I think you're right, definitely, yeah. What about the 49ers, Jackie? What are you thinking for them?
I'm hoping. Here's what's impressing me. Niners have a lot of injuries on offense. Actually,
they do.
Key ones on defense as well. and they're 3-0. So can we keep this up? Right?
Yeah. Hats off to the Niners, man.
Yeah. So I don't think it's a I don't think it's a guaranteed thing by far, but Super Bowl is in Santa Clara, in the San Francisco
That would
Bay
be
Area,
cool, wouldn't it?
and I would love for that for the Niners to make it there.
To play the
Maybe I
Super
have to come
Bowl
back to
in
my
your
second
home
home,
area.
Jackie.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm going to have to come visit my second home.
Yeah. So you're going
come
for
on over.
So you think they're going to win it, or do you think you're just going to make it there, Jackie? Do you think they're going to?
Well, I have confidence that the Niners will make it into the playoffs, for sure.
Yeah.
But we have to contend with, the Eagles. I think the Lions are going to do really well again this year. There's a number of teams. Well, first, the Niners have to make it out of their division, which is really strong this year, right? Seattle, Cardinals.
The Rams
these
as well,
are,
yeah.
And the Rams, yeah. So these are not easy teams to get past. The great thing is, so far, the Niners have a good record against their own division rivals. So fingers crossed, right? We can get healthy, or 49ers can get healthy, and we can at least be competitive with the Eagles. But this is tough. The Eagles, when they are down, they're even worse to contend with, right? I mean, was it two out of the 3 games they're fighting from behind, and they do it.
Yep.
I would say that shows a true of a Super Bowl champ there. I'd say, look, getting the wins, not playing maybe the best, but still pulling out the wins against some good teams as well, to be honest. So, I mean, to beat the
Dallas,
Chiefs, the Rams, and the Cowboys,
Rams.
they're not easy games.
Right.
Yeah. So
are we locking that in? Are you going Eagles for your Super Bowl champions?
Absolutely.
Without you are, Leo.
Yeah,
Jackie, we're going to put you on the spot.
I'm going to
here.
do Niners because when it happens, it's going to
like
be
it,
that much
Jackie.
more impressive.
that's it. That's what I want to hear.
That's all I wanted. Yeah. Yeah. Support your boys there. Yeah.
So we'll keep you both with us, and then we'll go into review of the last week's games, and then we'll see, Leo and Jackie, what your thoughts are for week 4.
Okay.
Okie dokie.
Welcome back, Snappers, and this week's previews and predictions. And man, my 100% record has finally come to an end. But the good news, we have a new 6-0 player this week. Congrats, man. Good work.
So I'm not sure if I'm happier that I had a clean sweep this week, or that you're no longer 100%.
Which one's the more happier?
I haven't decided yet whether I'm happy over that one.
Hey, I will say this. After listening to last week's episode, I was very happy that all 3 of you chose the Eagles.
Yeah.
Oh, let's see what we've got for this week, though.
Yes, indeed. Yes. First up from last week is the Dolphins versus Bills. The Bills with a 31-21 win. Ryan, kick them off.
Yeah, well, Miami come into this game on a 0-2 streak, and they're probably pretty desperate for a win. But they did hang in there quite tough for the 3 quarters. But Buffalo's defense and Josh Allen's boys, I think they were the difference for the game.
Yeah, he's throwing 3 touchdowns and a clutch 15-yarder to Khalil Shakir late in the 4th. But that play of the game, Tel Bernard's interception with 3 minutes left. I'd like to say he read to it like a book and sealed the win, but you always know, as soon as he drops in that pocket, lifts his left arm up, you know where the ball's going.
I must admit, when you're watching it go through, I actually thought to myself at one point now, because the Dolphins were starting to pick up a bit of momentum. Tyreek Hill was starting to get the ball thrown to him a lot, and they were starting to make some yards. But as you say there, Lee, as soon as he got that interception, there was only one team going away for the win. I mean, James Cook, he broke a streak for the first player to rush for 100-plus yards against Miami in 36 games. Dolphins had their chances, but penalties and that roughing the punter call, that certainly flipped our momentum.
And now with Miami 0-3, I think McDonald's seat is getting very hot.
Leo, Jackie, did you catch any of the game?
No, I didn't get the. Yeah, I didn't see the game. Something to know for your fan base, I think, in Europe is that we don't readily get to see all the games. In fact, for example, Leo sees a different set of games on the network channels than I do on the West Coast, and
Right.
when I did not see the Bills Miami game, but I saw so many highlights of the Bills you just kind of can see what's going to happen week after week. If we I continue to see Bills highlights above almost everything else.
You know they're doing well.
Yeah. Exactly.
So are you only following Ryan's account?
If you follow anything that I'm posting, Jackie, it's pure Bills, and that's what it should be.
Hey, I think all roads have to go through the Bills to get to the Super Bowl. That's my opinion.
What I'm talking about, Jack. See, Jackie's now part of the Bills mafia. He's a fan now.
Yeah, and not the Ravens. I know a lot of people might say it's the Ravens. Not this year. Yeah.
So on to our next game, the Vikings versus the Bengals. Vikings 48, Bengals 10. This was a massacre.
It was.
No Joe Burrow, and Jay Browning looked overwhelmed. 2 turnovers returned for touchdowns, and Isaiah Rodgers had a historic day, pick 6, fumble return touchdown, and 2 forced fumbles.
I mean, the Vikings, they were 34-3 up at half-time. Carson Wentz was really efficient, actually, because when he's coming straight in there for JJ, he was brilliant. I mean, Jordan Mason ran for 116 yards as well in 2 scores. They hit a field goal for 62 yards as well. I mean, Bengals fans are probably already looking forward to the draft.
Yeah, and Browning, it's got to adjust. That depth is just not there. If your QB2 needs to be up there and be able to take that pressure, that pocket presence just isn't there. They've got to have
missing Joe Burrow, weren't they?
They've got to have a similar style. So if your QB1's out, you need to have your team being able to play the same way. They're just 2 different players.
They are different. And if you got Jamar Chase in your fantasy points, you weren't getting many this week.
Yes.
On to the next one. And Leo, I think you're going to be happy with this one. Eagles 33, Rams 26. Game of the week for me. I mean, the Rams, as we talked about earlier on, they were 26-7 up early in the third. Yep. And then Philly just winged in 26 points unanswered. And Jalen Hurts did a 17-play, 91-yard drive to take the lead.
Yep.
And Jordan Davis.
That was one of the craziest second halves I have ever watched in my entire life. And I was texting Jackie throughout the game. I'm like, are you seeing this? And he's like, it's not showing on the West Coast. I'm like, you're messing it up.
We've got some friends in the UK now who've just got into NFL themselves, and they literally were texting to a similar scenario. They were texting us saying, we're hooked. If this is what happens every week, we are hooked.
I can only imagine what that Philadelphia bar in the UK in London was like. It must have been tearing itself apart.
Oh, imagine it! What a crazy ending.
Yeah, we're going to try and get table booked for the one of the playoff games, aren't we? One of the.
I mean, to highlight what. No, I was saying to highlight that Jordan Davis, what a monster he was, weren't he, at the end there? I mean, 2 blocked field goals in the fourth, including the game winner return, running 61 yards, and that's how you seal a win.
Yeah.
Who could think that a dude that big could move that fast? You know? And he even said, I think at the end of the game, he's like, I had to keep looking over my shoulder because he goes, I thought for sure I was going to get caught.
We were looking at some stats earlier on, and I think they were saying he was running nearly 20 miles an hour at one point to get from one end to the other. Like, for a guy of his size,
wow.
He was
that's pretty incredible.
Yeah.
But they've been saying, I think they've been working a lot more on their ground speed this year.
Yeah. I thought for sure in that final field goal that the game was over, but when they blocked it and then picked it up and were able to run to the end zone, that was just pure Philadelphia magic.
You got to be happy with the result, Lee and Leo. 3-0 now. Good start for the Eagles.
Yep. As I said, Super Bowl bound.
Yeah, but it wasn't all disappointing for the Rams, though. There was a lot of positives, I thought. That they just couldn't finish the drives. Having two field goals blocked out of 4. But Stafford had a great game, I thought. It's just the defense collapsed. And the special team stole the show.
that first half was just, and you could hear if you saw the Eagles broadcast. As I said earlier, the Philadelphia Eagles are very passionate, and they let their team know that they were very disappointed with their quality of plays in that first half. But holy crap, did they turn it around in the second? That was amazing. All the credit in the world to the Philly defense for keeping them to just a couple field goals. That was pretty amazing.
You're right, because the Rams' first half were brilliant. Eagles didn't have an answer. They were blocking the Rams' defense at that point. They had Barkley blocked. Every time they tried to run the ball, Barkley weren't getting through. And then
I think his record, his two record touchdowns, aren't there, for distance, have come against the Rams in the last two seasons. Last season he destroyed them with hundreds of yards against them. So this year, I think he only just made double figures. I think at half time he'd run 2 yards. I remember going with my fantasy team, and it run 2 yards in a half.
Yeah, I think in the first half he was held to 33 yards.
Yeah,
in passing, and then in the second half it was 197 or something like that. I think.
It's impressive. He definitely turned it around.
Yeah. Well, I think at one point he just figured, I got nothing to lose. I'm going to throw this ball, and turned it into a win.
In the first half, they couldn't get AJ Brown on the ball. Then, as soon as Hurt started throwing it towards AJ, they were in then, and he was phenomenal once they got the ball going. Good win for the Eagles. Very good win for the Eagles this week.
Mm-hmm. And that's 3-0 without even really hitting top stride.
Yep,
agreed.
So that's it's scary for the rest of the NFL for me. So we move on to Raiders versus Commanders. The Commanders with a commanding 41-24 win. So Marcus Mariota stepped in for the injured Jaden Daniels. And this is what I'm talking about with the Bengals. You couldn't tell that their QB1 was out. He looked sharp.
Yeah.
207 passing yards, 40 yards rushing, and 2 touchdowns. They played the same way. They were efficient. They were effective. It could have almost been more if Daniels would have been fit.
You got to think though, Lee, Washington's ground game was also dominant. 201 rushing yards, 3 TDs. McNichols had a 60-yard burst, and Jalen Lane returned a 90-yard punt to score as well. Sorry, Ross. The Raiders were poor.
It's you got to look at Gino. He didn't have the greatest season last year, but the Seahawks, and then this year, it's gone somewhere with an even worse defense. 5 sacks, 28 pressures.
Yeah, they will certainly make it to the playoffs again this year. They're in that form right now. Yeah.
The Commanders or the Raiders?
Commanders.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
It was that confused look you had there, Jackie, thinking they were thought Raiders.
Wait a minute, Raiders? No.
Talk about the Commanders.
I think
we have
you heard it here first
already. Yeah. The Raiders have got no chance.
I love watching the Raiders fall apart. It's sad to see because they've got what's his name? The coach. He's he's the oldest coach in the NFL. I'm reading in his name. Anyway, he's there and he's a great coach, right?
Yeah.
And he, but the Raiders organization and the players are they never gel. I don't know what the culture is at the Raiders, and I don't want it to change because I just don't need to see them win. Commanders, on the other hand, wow, they're just impressive all around.
Yeah,
I just thought love for the Commanders actually. I think there's a lot of hype behind them as well. And then, as you said, Leo, they done well in the playoffs last year. They beat the Lions in the playoffs last year, which no one thought they would do then. And then I've got a lot of time for the Commanders. I think they'll be a playoff push team, definitely.
Yeah.
It's
a shame with the Raiders. It's a shame for the college guys, isn't it? You're looking at where your draft position's going to be, and you'll end up at the Raiders. Like Brock Bowers is up there with one of the best young tight ends in the league. I like the Jacoby Myers over at wide receiver. He's good in there, but they've got no chance with the rest of the team.
Yeah.
I
think
think
Washington and Philadelphia, it's going to be an interesting thing to watch.
That'd be good to see how they go.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I can't wait to see them play. Yeah.
it's that train,
What team-
isn't it? It's that train that goes down through Baltimore as well for the Ravens, from
true.
Philly to DC. Yeah, I think it's quite a strong train line there, isn't it? So that brings us on to the Ravens. The Lions versus Ravens is absolute fireworks.
I watched that game.
Yeah.
Yeah, setting the scenes. Both teams coming at 1-1. Ravens were favoured, playing at home in that nice, slick, all-black uniform. But Detroit, they came with something to prove.
And they
Oh, yeah.
definitely proved it, didn't they? I mean, Dan Campbell's squad, they looked fearless, actually. I mean, from the opening drive, Gibbs scored straight away, and boom, the Lions were on the board.
Oh, yeah.
But the Ravens answered back. Derrick Henry, 28-yard touchdown run. Vintage King Henry. At that point, you knew you were in for a shootout. It was more basketball than American football at times. Yeah, it was just two heavyweights going at it. It was the old George Foreman, Mike Tyson type of.
Oh yeah,
type of
I mean it was back and forth throughout that entire game.
Yeah.
But
Oh, yeah.
I'll be honest, I don't know why, but I'm glad that the Lions won. I really am. You know,
I think a lot
yeah.
of people after week one were writing them off, actually. After they lost to the Packers, we were saying, like, as I'm talking amongst friends, everyone probably thought the Lions were going to have a bit of a drop-off season, actually. But what a win that is, actually, against the Ravens. Because, I mean, one of the picks, everyone picks Ravens to get to the playoffs and potentially the Super Bowl. That's a good win for the Lions, definitely.
yeah.
I think so.
And what is
I
the
think
Ravens
I
now?
think they're
1
lost.
and 2, I think.
1 and 2 coming into the Chiefs next week as well. So that's
Exactly.
they could be 1 and 3 before they know it.
I think the Ravens have a problem with their offensive line. If a team, well, okay, I'm not gonna. The Lions actually have a great defensive line. Lots of credit, lots of props to their linebackers and their defensive line. They just pressured, and that really limited the Ravens' ability for the long score, right? But it's going to be interesting to see Ravens try to figure out how to adjust to that because every team on the NFL is going to
They know how to stop them a little bit now. Yeah,
yeah.
and to your point there, Jack, we're speaking of the defence. I mean, Aiden Hutchinson, he was a menace for him. He forced a fumble on Derrick Henry, which is not an easy thing to do. And then the goal line, they blocked them on the line as well. I mean, 3 straight stuffs on Henry. I mean, that's pretty impressive from a defensive line to be able to stop Derrick Henry at any point.
And for him to come back the way he has after his leg injury last year, you got to give that guy credit for all his offseason work because he's looking strong.
Man.
Yeah, so I talked earlier about Hurts never in the conversation with the Lamars and the Allens.
Exactly.
I thought Jared Goff was excellent. For me, he's top 5.
No, he did a great job. He kept his composure. He stayed calm. You know.
Yeah. For years, I think he was an underrated quarterback.
I think because he's not the modern, is he? He's not the one that's going to be dancing through the line and scoring touchdowns. But he's a proper efficient. Manages the O-line very well.
Yeah, you can put him in the category of those smart quarterbacks.
Yeah,
they understand how to play the game, and when they can throw accurately, then they can pick a defense apart easily. Yeah.
I'll tell you what Detroit done really well this week. They ran the ball well, didn't they? Like Gibbs and Montgomery were machines again.
Yes.
The lines. Like those two, insane. I mean, that'll push you all the way. Just having those in the team, wouldn't it?
Who's got them in the fantasy league, Ryan?
You have, mate.
Oh yeah,
That's why he done so well.
and I had another. I think I had another person from the Lions, didn't I? Oh yeah, just a little.
Justin Brown as well, didn't you?
And I had Amon St. Brown as well. So
yeah.
So it's
I've got my boy Josh Allen. That's all that matters. I've got Josh.
There you go.
That's all I'm worried about.
it was me versus Ryan today in this week in our fantasy league.
Yeah.
And coming into Monday, so after the Sunday games, I was 33% chance of winning.
Yeah.
And I had Lamar, I'm on say
Gibbs?
Brown, Gibbs, and
Oh yeah,
Montgomery to play.
Gibbs. Wow.
And they got me
That's a strong Monday.
nearly 100 points just between those.
Yeah.
Nice. Congrats.
Yeah.
Hey, have you settled in on a team yet? I know in earlier podcasts you were talking about you were looking at 2 or 3 different teams and hadn't
Uh-oh.
picked it. Oh,
Look out.
It's
Look
the
out.
Bears.
Look out.
So you've settled.
think so.
You settled on the Bears.
I think I am for this season. So I'm on a
Okay.
Woo.
different season. So
Okay.
it's a difficult one because
Right.
I want to be able to go see them if in the US. That's why I pick a team. So I've got my Wisconsin Badgers because my office is in Madison. So I go to Camp Randall I've been there quite a few times. So
Well,
but
we got-
Packers
are we-
Packers is a
go ahead.
Wisconsin team. It's just too far out. It's 3 hour,
Yeah.
4 hour drive from
other side of the
Madison.
state.
Right away from everything. It's actually probably easier for me to go to the Vikings than it is to go to the Packers.
Oh boy, but if you get out there, they're still playing in Soldier Field. I
Soldier
think.
Field.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh gosh, that'd be a wonderful place to watch a game.
Yeah, we went
What
down
we
there last year when we was over in Chicago, and we had some drinks in the bars and had something to eat around the area, and then we got the train back to ORD with a load of Bears fans, and then we flew back that night to the UK, and half our plane was full of the Bears fans coming to watch the Bears the following week in the UK, and that's the game we went to last year. So we went to the Bears, and we sat in the Bears with the Bears crowd. He was
Wow.
and they were so friendly, so great. He was kind of welcomed. We weren't wearing Bears shirts, no Bears merch, were we? You was in your Bills, I was in
Other Bills, Gil.
my Bobby Boucher.
How happy
Well,
are
I'm glad-
you?
I'm glad-
But after
I'm
week
glad to
3's
hear that-
reviews, go on, Jackie. No,
Oh,
you're
I
good.
was just gonna say, I'm glad you're picking a team, and to your
Yeah.
podcast audience, if you're just starting to learn about the NFL, pick a team.
Yeah.
Because it makes
Yeah.
watching the sport, tracking the sport, that much more fun.
Yes,
So pick a
exactly.
team. Yeah.
Yeah.
Even if they're the Raiders.
Like a Jackie. We will now see if Lee puts his money where his mouth is, because we'll look at week 4's games.
Oh,
The Bears
okay.
are on there. Is he going to stick
Yeah.
with the Bears? But who are they playing as well? Jackie's favourites, the Raiders. So let's see.
First of all, let's talk about that Bears Dallas game. That was a great game, and
yeah.
you
It
have to
was a good
appreciate the
game.
outcome. Yeah, and again, anytime Dallas loses, it's a good game. So
Can you tell everyone that Leo is an Eagles fan?
Yeah, and it's quite funny because I've got my friend Lewis at work. He hates the Eagles.
he hates the Eagles.
Yeah,
Is he a Dallas
he-
fan?
he's a Cowboys fan.
Yeah, that's right. They are two of the longest, most emotional rivalries in the NFL. Those are two teams, the two fan bases who absolutely despise one another.
So we'll see how we go this week in the predictions.
Exactly.
So this week's teams we picked, we're going Steelers, Vikings, Bucks and Eagles. Only one winner there, isn't there, Leo? Got the 49ers versus the Jags, Raiders versus the Bears, Rams versus the Colts, and the Chiefs versus the Ravens. So we're down to the final 6 unbeaten teams in the league so far. But when the Eagles face off against the Bucks, it means mathematically we can only end the weekend with 5 unbeaten teams. So let's kick off with our first prediction as the NFL crosses the pond. Steelers versus Vikings in Dublin, Ireland. So,
They are indeed. So both teams are currently 2-1 at the moment, but you would fancy yourself, I guess, for the Vikings after their recent win. So you say they're slight favourites. I mean, largely due to their defence, and the Steelers have got a bit of offensive struggles at the moment. Good thing the game's in Dublin, which is adding a unique international flavour to it. So be an interesting game.
Are you guys heading up?
I would.
Not this week.
It's so expensive for the travel.
Okay.
And the tickets were crazy. So we went in the queue for the tickets, and there's 60,000 tickets for our game, and we were 309,000.
£6,000?
No, 60,000 tickets available.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there was so when we joined the queue, there were 350,000 people queuing ahead of us.
Wow. Okay.
Wow.
I think it's going to be a good game to watch.
What are you going for, Jackie? Yeah.
Yeah, I think I was trying to look up the predictions. I'm going to guess that people are going with the Vikings, but what I want to see is I want to see Aaron Rodgers have a really good game, and I want to see them start clicking on the Steelers with him. Because when Rodgers has a reliable target, and they have it in, gosh, I can't remember that wide receiver's name. And they can get the offensive line and all of that stuff. And it's week 4, and they're I think it feels like they're looking better and better. So I'm gonna take the risk and say Steelers.
I like it. I like it a lot. Yeah. Leo, what are you going for, mate?
I'm gonna have to go with Jackie. It's the Steelers.
Ooh,
we're in there.
2 people for the Steelers.
It's a Pennsylvania team, so I gotta stick with the homeboys.
There you go.
So I'm looking there. The quarterback situation is the interesting one, isn't it? So you've got the old head experience in both of them, isn't it? It's the
both of them. Carson Wentz been about ex-Eagles old Wentz as well. Yeah. So
So I don't think JJ's going to be back in time for this one. On the other side of the offense, Jalen Warren, good. I don't know if he's the guy you were thinking of there, Jackie.
Oh, okay.
He's good, probably is
right
Warren.
There. Yeah. The defense bailed him out last week. Can they get some rhythm against this Vikings defense?
That's what they need. I think they
need a bit of rhythm.
Yeah.
I'm going against you both. Sorry, chaps. I'm going Vikings win. After what I saw last week, after the dismantle of the Bengals, I can't see past the Vikings.
Yeah, I'm thinking the same. But to me, if they can keep Wentz protected, and the Vikings should win this. If I let the defense get at Vens, then it could go either way. But I think they just have enough. So again, we got the guests. We're going Steelers, and the hosts going Vikings.
All right, we'll see. We'll see.
So it's UK versus US on this one, huh?
Yeah, it is indeed.
I like it.
Yeah.
The next game, though, as we're rightly naming on behalf of our guest this week, is Leo's game.
Woo!
The 2 undefeated teams. We got the Bucks and the Eagles. What are we going with, Lee? What are we looking at?
So both teams are undefeated, 3-0. So while the Eagles are the slight road favourites, but the Bucks have won 3 close games. And the Eagles have found ways to win even when not being the best. So both teams kind of have very similar kind of patterns and stories at the moment.
Yeah, and the Bucks are coming with some injuries. Though. There's rumours, isn't there? Mike Evans is out with a hamstring injury, which is a big blow to the Bucks.
Yeah.
But Chris Goodwin and Tristan Wirth, they could return. The defence is quite elite against the run. So, the Eagles like to use Barkley a lot. So can he get through that Tampa Bay defence? Baker Mayfield, he's a good QB as well, isn't he? There's a reason why the Bucks are 3-0 as well. So I think this could be quite a tight game.
Yeah, I think you're right with that. Like last week, it just showed the variance of Jalen, didn't it? That the run game wasn't working. So switch it up. Let's get out wide. Let's make some space. Let's get in the pockets and get some zones there. But it was. It's all on that first half. If the Eagles have the first half like we did last week, I don't think the Bucks will be as generous as the Rams. But I reckon Cipriani. Cipriani, is it? Yeah. Is that his name right? Cipriani? Yeah. I reckon he behind the scenes he's forced them to watch them tapes, and he's and I think I'm backing Saquon to find his running shoes this week, and then Eagles win.
Leo being
good man.
I think it's probably obvious who you're picking, but we'll ask you anyway.
course I'm picking the Eagles. I mean, look, last week's game is a perfect example of what they can do when they're down, And I know you said, you're talking about how the Rams kept Saquon Barkley locked up. Second half, that meant nothing, And Jalen Hurts throwing to Brown and Smith, that's what turned the game around. So, of course, I'm going to stick with the Eagles.
That adaptability and ability to change.
Exactly.
Jackie, what are you thinking, mate?
Yeah, I'm not convinced Tampa's for real yet, right? I respect Mayfield; he's a great quarterback, but they've got two wide receivers that they're not sure going to play, Evans and Godwin, and it's fine when you have a questionable running back because they always play anyway, but wide receivers they tend to sit. So Tampa Bay would have had a hard time even with those guys playing. I'm looking for Eagles to just trounce Tampa Bay and show them who's boss. Yeah.
You heard it here first.
Fighting talk to Jackie for the Eagles. I'm going a bit against the rain's here a little bit. So it's in Tampa. I'm going for a Bucks win.
We all have to make the risk bet. There's going to be one.
Because it's on the road. Hear me out. It's on the road. Tampa are 3-0. The rookie that they've got for wide receiver is quite impressive, actually. I can't pronounce his name, so I won't try to.
I was going to have a go, then I thought no.
They look quite good. Baker Mayfield, really good. Eagles are just scraping over the line. I think this might be a game too far. So I'm going Tampa.
Hey, don't forget, they beat the Chiefs at home. So
They did. I'm just going on vibes alone on this one, really.
All right.
I like the Eagles. I'm going for a Tampa win.
Oh, so now we're over to...
You know what kind of phone call you're going to get next week, right?
I'll either be a hero or be turning my phone off.
There we go. That's right.
So
Lee, who did you pick? Did you pick the Eagles?
Me?
You got the Eagles. So it's 3-1
Eagles
there,
on
Ryan.
me.
3-1 on that one there. So we'll move on to Jackie's game.
Yes.
49ers and the Jags. So the 49ers are unbeaten, but as you mentioned earlier, Jackie, they're pretty banged up with injuries. I mean, I think Purdy's got a knock. Bosa, I think we're hearing is now out for the season. I think people are starting to say now.
Yeah.
The Jags are 2-1. They got a gritty win last week. A chance to prove themselves against an NFC powerhouse. What are you thinking, Jackie?
Yeah, I think we'll see early in the game, right? The Niners need to show some consistency at the start of a game. Jaguars, they're not consistent at this point. In 3 games, they're not looking consistent. So I'm gonna bet that not just the players, right? When you look at the Niners coaching staff, that they're gonna figure it out. They're gonna figure out what they're gonna do with the players they have, and the Niners have depth.
They do.
They have a talented depth. So I'm going to go with the Niners because I'm a fan, right?
Yeah.
They're my boys. But also, I think they're going to eke out a win because they're going to outcoach the Jaguars.
Like it.
Leah, you
I'm going Niners. They're my second team, and to Jackie's point, I think if they get out to an early win, then Jaguars are never going to catch up. I think they're going to take.
I think that's fair. I'm with you guys. I can't see past the 49ers. I think they're too strong for the Jaguars. I mean, ultimately, I'd say the 49ers have got more tools and weapons to use than what the Jags have got. Trevor Lawrence is a bit inconsistent, really. Very good, and again, a very talented QB. To your point, Jackie, they've got a lot of depth in San Francisco, so I'm going 49ers. I'm joining you this one. I'm going 49ers. Right. Lee?
Oh, it's a tough one for me. Really. It's I think it was night and day for their defense with Nick Bosa on the fields. I think the stats show it in that W column. The percentage of wins is far, far greater than without him. But what I said with the QB had a higher average throw time when Bosa left the field, and the pressure rate was almost halved. So it's a strange one. There, but I think the 49ers will have enough. I think that if they're playing this way and they're 3-0 consistently with scraping with a team held together with sticky tape and dreams, it's yeah. I think they'll. I think, as we said before,
I don't know if that was an insult or not.
As we said for the Eagles, they're not playing particularly well, but they're winning games. Mm-hmm. The 49ers are playing well, but without their starters in many positions. So it's just it bodes well for the future. If they can keep plugging away and keep scraping these wins through till they get fully fit, that'd be a really good playoff push. So
Jackie made a really good point. I think they're going to outcoach the Jags.
Yeah, they're managing games very, very well. Yeah. So it's all of us, isn't it? We all go there for the...
All for the 49ers. A clean sweep for the 49ers this week. Then moving on to the next one then, which we're calling... We've got a fan of the show, Ross, who keeps telling us we need to feature the Raiders. So this week, the Raiders have been featured. So we've got the Raiders versus, as we've just heard now, Lee's team, the Bears. So it's the Ross versus Lee derby. Lee, what are we thinking, mate?
I think both teams are still trying to find their identity. I just think the Raiders could be slight favourites at home, but the Bears are coming off a big win over Dallas, and you're starting to see the influence that Ben Johnson's having over their O-line. And I think that they're getting the protection right, I think, for Williams. And they've got some weapons there. It's Swift is a great man to have to the side of Williams. So I think Bears for me. I'd say this as just for Ross there. This for me is as easy to call as Ross at the high roller table.
I like that. I mean, Leo made a good point about the Bears, actually, when he talked about... I mean, they were really good against the Cowboys, actually, last week, and Caleb Williams was actually starting to really find some form, I thought, in that game, actually. I am only going to go this on vibes only, and because they're at home, I'm going for a Raiders win.
Oh, I don't think I like you anymore.
We know Jackie don't like the Raiders. So I'll move on to that. So Jackie, I'm guessing it's a Bears win for you.
Yeah. You know, I'm ready to watch the Raiders fall apart, and you know, I want to support Lee, and the new selection of the Bears is his team. Yeah.
I knew you
and the Bears have a much better helmet design too. Yeah.
It's much better in the bear, isn't it? Much better logo there.
It's much better.
What are you going for, Leo?
I'm going to have to disappoint you there, Ryan. I'm going with Lee on the Bears. That win over Dallas.
Oh, wow.
That win over Dallas. I mean, look, both teams have struggled over the last few years. You know, you can't deny that, okay? Yeah. But the Bears looked really, really good in that game against Dallas. And I think if they keep playing like that, they're gonna surprise a lot of people this year. So I'm going Bears.
I like it. I do see what you're saying as well, because in all fairness, because the Cowboys had been... I know they'd lost games, but the Cowboys had been playing well, actually. And then the Bears were a different level, I thought, the other night. So I can see it.
It was incredible to watch.
Yeah. So, what have we got next? Moving on. We got the Rams versus the Colts.
Ooh.
So the Colts being the surprise team at the moment, 3-0.
Yeah.
It's
surprising in a little bit. They wouldn't have been... If you'd have asked me at the beginning of the season, would the Colts be 3-0 and would Daniel Jones be talked about as one of the top on-form QBs in the league, I'd have gone, you lot are mad. But he has
I would say you're crazy.
Turned it
There's
around.
no way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
After how he was in New York, he's obviously got a talent because he plays in the NFL. Did I think he'd be able to take a team all the way as he is with the Colts so far? No. But, I mean, the Colts have got some players. Jonathan Taylor's obviously a very good player they got there as well. But they have got some players. they are going to the Rams, and as we've already said, the Rams took the Eagles all the way. And as Leo mentioned, if it weren't for the field goal block, the Rams would have beaten the Eagles on Sunday. They were literally a kick away from beating them.
Hey, don't remind me.
I do think with Stafford playing well, or Grandad Stafford as we're calling him this week, and Nakua as their breakout star, I'm going for a Rams win. Jackie?
Yeah, the Colts are not a team. If I had a choice of games, I would not have chosen to watch the Colts, and so I don't know what are they doing in that they're 3-0.
Yeah.
But based on the Rams and just their performance in the first 3 weeks, I mean, you got to go Rams. You got to go Rams.
Like it.
Yeah. So you're going to upset Ryan and Leah?
Actually, no. I'm going to stick with Ryan on this one. I think the Rams are going to be hungry for revenge. After that loss in Philadelphia this weekend, they're going to take a hard look at themselves and they're going to go, we need to up our game. Now,
Yeah.
If I remember correctly, the Colts have beaten their opponents by, I think, almost a 2-1 margin in all of their games.
Each game so far,
Which, again, at the beginning of the season, I'm like, you're crazy, But I don't know. I think the Rams are going to pull this one out, And I think, like I said, I think they're going to be hungry for revenge, and they're just going to throw it all up against the wall for a win.
This is the first probably big test for the Colts. On the road, in LA.
Exactly.
I think it'd be too much. Lee, what are you thinking, bud?
So I'm thinking there, with the Colts have been flying high, scoring for fun, but have they played against a defense yet?
Mm-hmm.
Can Dan Jones keep up his Cinderella story? But for me, I think so. With that dual threat that they have with Taylor, 3 TDs last week, the Wisconsin alumni, and the dual wideout threat of Pittman Jr. and Warren, I think they have enough. You look at Ramshod last week against the Eagles, they didn't like the pace out wide when they're holding up, they're covering the running backs. They had a lot of energy, a lot of focus on keeping Saquon quiet, and that just left so much space out wide. So I'm thinking the same here. With the way Taylor's been playing at the start of the season, I think the focus could be there. And then if they switch the focus out to Pittman or Warren, the wideouts, then Taylor could get some space on that. So I'm going Colts 4-0.
Against the grain. I'll tell you what though, if they do win against LA, then they are a serious contender. Because if you go there and win and you go 4-0, you're like, you've definitely got what it takes to probably go quite far this season. It'd be very impressive, especially for Dan Jones when people were writing him off last year. Almost like a redemption arc for him a little bit. That'd be really good from him.
If Dan Jones gets injured, they're the team from last season. That's all they've changed, really, isn't it? They've got consistency. They had the good players. They just had nobody fueling them.
Yeah. This is going to be a great game to watch. That's for certain.
It will be really good. And then on that segue, then probably the game of the week, I would say. Chiefs versus the Ravens. Ooh. Mahomes versus Jackson.
Yeah.
Who are the favourites, really? I mean, the Ravens are on the road. The Chiefs have had an indifferent start. So of the Ravens, you could say now, have the Ravens had a harder run, though? Yeah, the Ravens have played the Bills and they have played the Lions. So I would say maybe the Ravens have had a bit of a harder run, but... What do you think, Lee? I'll start with you, Lee. What are you thinking on this game?
You say there, you've got the Bills, and they've had to play the Bills and the Lions. They've got to beat them to win it anyway. So overall, they're showing that they're potentially the third best team in the NFL from that start. Is that in their head? Is that mentality there? Is that we've just been steamrolled by our conference rivals, and that's going to be kind of, can we make it? But Jackson is playing at that MVP level continuously. Henry gives him there's not many better in that running game.
I mean, the Chiefs won last week, but they did beat a poor Giants team last week. And you think they had Rusty Wilson, who was almost so rusty that he couldn't throw a ball to save his life last week. And then the Chiefs just scraped through that one. Can they really do that against a Ravens team who actually took the Lions pretty much all the way? They took the Bills to 1 point. To your point, Derrick Henry is probably going to have a field day against that Chiefs defence this week.
Yeah. I look at it slightly differently on that. So to me, I look at it, what can the Chiefs bring at the Ravens? And I don't think it's... Yeah. There's no threat like Montgomery, Gibbs, and Mon St. Brown. It's what have they got? It's... They can't rely on Mahomes to do everything.
And Kelsey's not doing very well this year.
And he's struggling early doors, isn't he? There, like I said, he wasn't great last week. If I'm going to I'll go with what I'm thinking first. I can't see past the Ravens. I know they're on the road again, and it's at Arrowhead, so like the crowd can obviously have a bit of an influence on how that sort of turns out. I think the Ravens are going to be hurting from that loss to the Lions. Mm-hmm. Both teams have got a thing to prove though as well, because as we've said earlier on, either team loses this, they go 1-3, which is not a great start for any of them really at that point. And you think if you're Patrick Mahomes at the Chiefs, you're like, wow, we are in trouble here. And then the Ravens don't want to be that either, because it's hard to pull it back from the other teams in this division. I'm going for a Ravens win though. I think the Ravens will just have a bit too much for the Chiefs.
I'm going with you on the Ravens. You look at Lamar, sacked an incredible 7 times last week, and he still got up and still threw what he threw and rushed what he rushed. That's if Mahomes is sacked 7 times, he's not getting nothing.
No.
Leo, what are you thinking, mate? Yeah.
Me?
What are you thinking on this one, Leo? Yeah. What are you going for?
Ravens. Absolutely
Ravens all the way.
Yeah. I mean, look, the Eagles 2 weeks ago handed Mahomes his first 3 consecutive losses in his career. So, and, as I said, Travis Kelce's not doing well. So, and those are their 2 biggest stars. So I think, to your point earlier, I think the Ravens are going to be hungry for revenge. So, because that loss to the Lions stung.
Yeah. The Ravens can afford to double up on Kelce. All teams can. Because they've got no wide threat. There's no wide threat. There's no real running threat. You just can't see it.
Yeah, so it's
Jackie, are we going for the home run here? Are we all 4 for the Ravens? Or are you going?
This is a tough one. I think the Ravens lost a bit in their defense, especially in the secondary. And if Holmes can find the rhythm, which I don't think he can, something's happened to him. Then he could probably put up some big numbers, but that's a big ask at this point. And the Ravens, like you said, they need to prove that they're not the team that played last week. And as long as they can shore up their offensive line, it's a Ravens win. Yeah.
I like it. So we're all for the Ravens, which is really good.
Woo!
So there we have it. Some massive games this week. But can the Bills go 4-0? Let's go, Buffalo. That's what I'm for, really.
Yep, so grab your popcorn. So grab that popcorn.
What is it, it's Bill Saints this week, right?
The Bills are playing the Saints. We don't need to talk about it. It's 4-0,
that's
Buffalo all the way.
Yeah, they're just going to put their bench in and they'll be fine. Yeah. Sorry, Saints fans.
I
don't. It was Jackie.
Yeah, I don't think we need to worry about that game. So, I think your 4-0 record's going to be fine.
It's there's not many sure things, is there, in NFL?
No, well,
don't jinx them.
Yeah, until we come back next week and the Saints have won, and we all looked after saying it was an easy 4-0.
That's right. I don't think we thought we'd see a 1-2, Chiefs right now.
So the Chiefs be like that. Yeah, so you never know, do you?
There would have been some surprises, as we said. We got 3-0 Colts. We've got 1-2 Chiefs. We've got 1-2 Ravens.
Yeah.
So a big performance by the team from NOLA? No, I don't. That'll be the one fantasy too far, won't it?
It will be.
I think the entire NFL will be shocked if the Saints
get the win.
Do the Saints even have a quarterback?
I'm not sure. I'll tell you what. I'll say it live on here. If the Saints win, I will wear a Saints shirt on one of these episodes. That's how confident I am. That the Bills will be
wow! Okay.
Thanks, Leo and Jackie, for joining us. I hope you've had fun in your predictions.
That was fun. It was a pleasure.
Man.
Thank you for being here. We'll see how we do.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yes.
All right, it's time for another round of Explain the Play. And today we're diving into the defensive side of the ball. I mean, everyone loves the touchdown. But without these defensive schemes, this game would just be straight chaos.
Exactly. And for the folks new to football, defensive schemes basically means a strategy a team uses to stop the offense. It's like a chess match. Coaches are moving pieces, anticipating what the quarterback's going to do, and trying to shut it down.
Yeah, so let's keep it simple. There are two big categories. There's man-to-man coverage, and then there's zone coverage. In man-to-man, each defender is assigned to cover a specific offensive player, like a cornerback glued to a wide receiver. In zone, defenders just cover the areas of a field instead of a specific guy.
And here's where it gets fun. Coaches mix those two ideas together. Take the cover 2 scheme. 2 safeties drop back, splitting the deep field in half. Underneath, cornerbacks and linebackers handle the shorter zones. That's great for limiting deep passes, but the weakness is right in the middle of the field, especially if a tight end sneaks in.
Oh yeah, definitely. And then there's the famous cover 3. 3 defenders go deep, usually 2 corners and a safety, which makes it tough for the quarterbacks to bomb it downfield. But you are leaving gaps on the sidelines and asking linebackers to cover a lot more ground.
Then don't forget about the blitz schemes. This is where the defense sends extra pass rushers, linebackers, or even defensive backs to overwhelm the offensive lines. A zero blitz is the extreme. Everyone's coming after the quarterback. And the corners are left one-on-one with no safety help. High risk, high reward.
Yeah, and that's the theme with defensive scheme, isn't it? Every design has a strength and weakness. Cover 2 protects deep, but can get chewed up by short passes. Blitzing does rattle the QB, but if he spots you, you're toast.
Exactly, and that's why the NFL is so tactical. Coaches spend all week watching tape, figuring out how to disguise their defense. You'll see safeties fake like they're dropping into cover 2, but at the snap they're brought into cover 3, or being pressured off the edge. It's all about deception as much as it is execution.
It definitely is, mate. So if you're watching on Sunday and you see the defence shift right before the snap, that's the chess game. That's a defensive coordinator trying to bait the quarterback into making the wrong read.
And when it works, that's when you get those highlight interceptions or sacks that completely flip the momentum.
Defensive schemes, complex, risky, but when they hit, they win games.
So welcome to this week's Divisional Spotlight. This week we analyse the NFC West, which is the San Francisco 49ers, the Seattle Seahawks, the LA Rams, and the Arizona Cardinals. So let's go into who's feeling the heat. So the San Francisco 49ers are under massive pressure after disastrous 2024, finishing last in the division and losing key players to injury and free agency. Brock Purdy got the mega contract. With Nick Bosa out for the season, the defense is suddenly looking vulnerable. The front office and Kyle Shanahan are feeling the heat to prove last year was a fluke, not a trend.
Yeah, I think you're probably right there, man. I think that from going to a Super Bowl year the year before and then struggling like they did last year, all right, injury, obviously a big hit to them, but I think they've got a lot to prove as a franchise this year. That, to your point there, it wasn't a fluke. And they were definitely on the up.
That's where depth comes in, isn't it? You've got to have that depth out there.
Who's feeling the heat in Seattle? So Seattle have made huge changes. I mean, Sam Darnold is the QB there now. Cooper Kupp's back in. What a player he is as well. But DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett are gone. The O-line's still a bit of a mess there, and expectations are quite low, I'd say. I mean, if Darnold Darnold regresses or the defence can't carry the load, new coach Mike McDonald could be under scrutiny quite quickly, I feel.
DK Metcalf was a strange one for me. But I guess if he wasn't feeling the love and the draft positions were offered up, but he's definitely a big game player.
Yeah, no, definitely, man.
Yeah. So to the Los Angeles Rams. They're defending champions of this division. They lost Cooper Kupp, and they got one of the toughest schedules. Matt Stafford's 37, and if he declines or gets hurt, the Rams could tumble fast. Sean McVay's offense needs a click with Devontae Adams now in the mix.
I've got a lot of love for the Rams. Do you know, I have a lot of the teams, obviously everyone knows I'm a Bills fan, but I'd argue that I actually really like the Rams. And you saw from their recent performances, they're on a bit of a run. They've got some great players there in Nakua and Stafford, and now they've got Devontae Adams, etc. They're a good unit. I like the Rams.
Yeah, they had a cracking game at the weekend.
They've definitely got a push on this year because it's a hard division, especially with the form that the 49ers are on. So again, I'd say McVay's under a bit of pressure. You're right, mate. I'm feeling that for him there. Then moving on to the Cardinals. I mean, doubled their win total last year, which was good for them. But Kyler Murray, has he really proven that he can actually take them to the next level? I mean, the defense has been rebuilt, but if they can't stop the run or Murray's form stagnates, I imagine that Jonathan Gannon's honeymoon is probably over.
Yeah, watching the teams play, looking at all the QBs, Kyler Murray never looks like he's got time, ever. You see some of them, look, they've got all the time in the world. They're so calm, and they can make a decision whether to throw or to run. Or he just looks panicky.
He hasn't impressed me in the opening few weeks, I will say. Like, I actually feel for the Cardinals. I think they might struggle this year.
Yeah.
Who's the star man, mate, of the 49ers?
Ooh. I think it would have been Boza, I think, for me. But with with him now being out, I think Fred Warner, I think he's going to have to step up and be the heart and soul of the defense, leading by example and racking up those tackles.
It's a big blow that Bosa's out in it. I mean, he is a unit himself, so that is a big blow to their defensive goings for Sam Stanley.
Oh, Christian McCaffrey, if he's healthy, he's still going to be the most dynamic weapon in the division. But can he stay fit?
That's the thing for him. He's a weapon for them, isn't he? He is so good. You're right. They've got to keep him fit this year to have a good chance of progressing.
Yep. Yeah, so what about the Rams? So who's looking good for the Rams for you?
Puka Nakua. I mean, he is amazing, isn't he? After a breakout year, he's probably Stafford's go-to guy. But now Devontae Adams there, I mean, he's a proven star. And then early season form, you can't really look past Kyron Williams either. I mean, he's quietly one of the most productive backs in the league, especially when he gets close to the red zone.
Yeah, Puka was he's taking the game at next level again. I thought after last year's breakout, I thought he's a cracking little player. But again, now he's leading in catches again this year already.
He's firing in them already, and he is so good.
Yeah, he's the go-to man, isn't he? When they're under pressure. He's always in that hole. I think that Stafford and Puka combination's getting a bit like that Mahomes and Kelsey, isn't it?
It is. It's like you say, it's his go-to man by the look of it. When they're in trouble, it's always Nakua that Stafford's looking for. It's not a bad thing if you've got someone with that ability there. Use him. But
really.
I like the Rams. I'm giving the Rams a lot of love. What about the Seahawks, mate? Who do you think's the star man there?
So I really felt for Sam Darnold last year. He had a cracking end to the season. He did really well at the Vikings, but they've invested for long term, haven't they?
Yeah.
I don't think Darnold wanted to re-sign a new contract to be QB2 or QB3, because I think he can be the star of the division. If he repeats what he was doing last season, I think they could surprise.
I like the Seahawks as well.
Yeah, and then Jackson Smith-Njigba. He's emerging as a top target, especially with Kupp's health in question. That was a strange signing for me, Kupps. He's
injury prone. Yeah. It's an odd one from the Seahawks, but you can see why the Rams moved him on, I guess.
Yeah, if they've got him as a paying pay as you play. If he got his contract in there, I don't know what it was guaranteed, but it could be a low risk, no risk for them.
It could be a coup, if you get the pun there.
Yeah. So who would like him from the Cardinals?
Marvin Harrison Jr. I mean, he's a second-year phenom there. He's expected to explode. I mean, he's given Murray a true weapon there for wide receiver 1.
Yeah.
And then you've got Baron Brown on the edge, another breakout candidate in defence. You can expect him to be leading it there for the Cardinals, I feel, in the pass rush department.
Yeah, there's some good players in this division. Some players which I think deserve better than what they've been dealt. But so moving on to a prediction. So who's going to take the West? What's the divisional outlook?
This is probably the NFL's most unpredictable division at the moment. I mean, all 14 probably have a plausible path to the playoffs, but they also have a real downside risk. What do you think, 49ers, Lee?
It's a key question, isn't it? Can Purdy carry the offense without Bosa anchoring the defense? Is it going to come down to, can we score more than you? So I think they're a wildcard contender, but they're not a favourite.
Yeah, I think you can almost push against the Rams. I mean, they've got to keep Stafford healthy, haven't they? And then they are really relying on Devontae Adams and Nakua to replace the production they were getting from Cooper Kupp last year. I'd probably say the Rams are probably the slight favourites, even though the 49ers are currently 3-0, but I feel like they're probably the ones that could win the division, but probably only just.
Yeah, when we're looking at the 49ers with the currently 3-0, but they're patched together. If they could get all... But is that their best way of playing? Is that where they make the stars? Is that where we talked about the Lions, didn't we, before, and the Packers themselves? They're units. They're not just groups of stars, are they? They are, even though they've got some tremendous players, they run and pass and tackle and dive for each other out there. These guys coming in, the number 2s and number 3s in some cases for the 49ers. But I think I do agree. I think the slight favourites are the Rams. I think they've just got a little bit more quality. I think
the 49ers, for me, like you say, I know they're 3-0 at the minute, but I think they'll fall off soon. They'll start playing some teams where they'll get beaten, and I think the Rams will just be more consistent.
Yeah, I think it could be a confidence if they get a couple of tough games and a couple of tough losses. I think they'll fall.
What do you think about the Cardinals, mate? What's your prediction for those this year?
Those question marks over Kyler Murray. Is he ready to take the next step? Is he going to be the one? I said he looks panicked when he's exposed. I know no QB likes to get hit, but if you're panicking before you've been hit, it's not going to be.
I think it'll be a hard year for them, the Cardinals. They could have a winning season or they could have a losing season. I think they're probably tilting on the edge. Maybe could be a dark horse, but between them and the Seahawks, I can imagine those two fighting it out for a late push, maybe.
Yeah. And the Seahawks. What are your thoughts on the Seahawks?
Well, this is where, I mean, to your point, mate, Sam Darnold had a good year for the Vikings. This will be a good test for them. Was it for the real deal, or was it a bit of a fluke for him last year? Again, I think similar to the Cardinals, they could have a good season. They might not. I know that's a really fluffy answer, probably, but I think they could have a great season if it all clicks, or could be downfall for them quickly.
Yeah, they're needing Darnold to click and quickly, I think, to get anything out of them. They went from experience, didn't they, really? Moved on some of their players. It's potentially a transitional era.
I think so. I mean, if I was to give how I think the division will end up, I think the Rams will win the division. I think the 49ers will come second in the division. I mean, two great teams. Seahawks and Cardinals, I could argue either way for them. As a random bet, I'm going to say Seahawks come third, Cardinals come fourth, but that is literally on vibes alone.
Yeah, for me, it comes down to this weekend as to whether I agree with you there. I think the Cardinals peaked early with their 2-0 start, albeit it was against the whipping boys down in NOLA. and the extremely unpredictable Panthers. So the game at home against the Seahawks could be what we would term a 6-pointer. So I think if the Seahawks take that advantage of anything to play again in a few more weeks, then they take that third spot in the division. And if the Cardinals take it, I could see the Seahawks finishing bottom. So
I think you're right there.
Yeah, I agree with the Rams and 49ers 1 and 2. And either of those could be 1 or 2. But the Seahawks and Cardinals are definitely in 3 and 4 for me.
Agree with you, man. Well, that just about wraps things up for today's episode of Minor Snap. Big thanks for sticking with us, and we hope you enjoyed the ride.
Absolutely. And if you want to keep the conversation going, you can find us on Instagram at MindTheSnapPodcast, over on X at MindTheSnapPod, and of course, on probably our most used platform, I think, is TikTok at MindTheSnapPodcast. But check out the link tree in the bio for all our other platforms there. We have a Facebook group going on. Jump in there. We've got some videos over on YouTube for some more episodes.
Yeah, I mean, make sure you give us a follow. Drop your thoughts and let us know your hot takes. We actually love hearing from you guys, so interact with all our socials.
Yeah. And thanks again to Leo and Jackie for joining us. And then don't forget to tune in next week to see how they did with their predictions. And then as usual, we're diving into some more NFL action, stories, and maybe a couple of spicy debates too.
Until then, thanks for listening. And remember, mind the snap.